all know how Godzilla was created. But what about the man who created that bomb in the first place? This film came about with one man and one studio. For those who are unaware, Christopher Nolan, was a British and American filmmaker. He is famous for his rebooted Batman films, the Dark Knight trilogy it was called. Those films were not only made and produced by Legendary Pictures, but they were also distributed by Warner Brothers. Now, in the same year that Batman Begins was released, 2005, a biography by Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin, I hope I said that right, was published to the public. That book was American Prometheus, The Triumph and Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer. Director Sam Mendes had been interested in turning the biography into a feature-length film, but the project was never finalized. After that, the book optioned, basically rented in movie terms, to many filmmakers, but they all declined, including Oliver Stone. And then it came to Nolan. Nolan actually had desired to make a film about Oppenheimer for a long time, even before American Prometheus, so he agreed to be on the project. Okay, stop me if you heard of this before. After making Tenet in 2020, and the key word, or number, there is 2020, and you know what I'm about to say next. Hello, COVID-19. However, just like Suzume, it did not stop the production. At the end of the year, though, things between Nolan and Warner Brothers would sour. Why? Well, Warner Brothers created a streaming service on October 29, 2019 called HBO Max, now just Max for some reason. Anyhow, in December of 2020, Warner announced that any and all planned 2021 movies would not only be released in theaters, but also on the streaming service, citing the virus for that reason. Now, if you watched my Godzilla vs. Kong review, I mentioned that when Warner did that, it pissed off Legendary Pictures, but they were not the only ones, because Nolan was also outraged by this turn of events. As a result, in September of 2021, Nolan left Warner Brothers for good. But he did not go alone, as he took the project and the crew with him. However, that left one question. Where did he go? Christopher would bounce through many studios, such as Sony, Paramount, and Apple, of all fucking things, but the one studio he landed in was Universal Pictures. Chris had worked with Universal via Donna Langley, the current chairwoman of NBC Universal. As the production began, many familiar actors were signed on, including Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, and Emily Blunt, though their earnings were cut to $4 million each. You might be asking, who was going to play the titular character? That will land on an actor named Cillian Murphy. As for music, you'd think that Hans Zimmer would be with Nolan since Batman Begins, but he is absent. Instead, Ludwig Göransson would handle the music. The end result was Oppenheimer, released alongside Barbie from Warner Brothers on July 21st, 2023. Yes, you heard me, two completely different styled films released at the exact same time. This created the cultural phenomenon known as Barbenheimer. One is fluffy and fun, the other is dark and gritty. That is actually history. And speaking of that history, if you don't know the history of Oppenheimer, then you should. But regardless, here is the film's plot synopsis according to IMDb, courtesy of Grants. A dramatization of the life story of Julius Robert Oppenheimer, the physicist who had a large hand in the development of the atomic bomb, thus helping end World War II. We see his life from university days all the way to post-World War II, where his fame saw him embroiled in political machinations. I love learning history, European history, and other kinds of history, one of which is currently the Second World War, studying the battle tactics, strategies, policies, and the leadership, not to mention the war against humanity. But I never knew I'd be learning more about one man who was responsible for ending the war, but starting the Cold War and the nuclear arms race. And that's the biggest takeaway I have with this. The movie isn't about the bomb itself, it's called Oppenheimer for a reason, and it's about this one man who, in many ways, was the greatest mind of his generation, but one who has to carry something that will never go away with time, and I love how tense things can get with that. Cillian is excellent as Oppie. His mannerisms, his facials, even his inner thoughts. In fact, all of the characters are well done. I'd say characters, but these people actually existed. But regardless, they are fantastic. The special effects are fantastic. For those who don't know, Christopher Nolan dislikes the use of CGI. This man is old school, meaning practical effects were plenty, and they are great to look at. And of course, the cinematography is well done also. It is Christopher Nolan after all. The music by Göransson is great. He ain't Hans Zimmer, but I feel that he captured that feeling very well, while delivering his own brand of music. Oppenheimer overall is a fantastic period piece. If I had one thing to nitpick about is that the film is way too long, 3 hours in total. But even with it being 3 hours long, I was not bored in any single way. Whew, okay, I think I need a break from all of this seriousness for a few hours. I hear that the turtle has returned. Until then, this has been Demetrius signing off. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and have a good day.